Man, I'm looking forward. Everyone's looking forward to Ohio State in Texas, but I'm looking forward to seeing the changes with Ohio State. Coordinators, quarterback. What are you anticipating there? A lot of attention is on Texas and Manning, and rightfully so, right?
Yeah.
What about the flip side of this, where you have the national champs coming back, and now with all the changes, the expectations are still there. I mean, it's Ohio State. What a way to match up and try to figure out if you've got things going right out of the gate.
Yeah, the defending national champions. It's like we're forgetting that. Huh?
Yeah, right.
It's like, okay, Ohio State's still got a great defense. Like, you think Ohio State's going to be fine on offense with Julian saying at quarterback. Jeremiah Smith out wide. You can try to throw 3 guys on him, but he's still going to find a way to get open and grab the ball.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's almost like we're not overlooking Ohio State. We're not doing that. But all the talk is on Arch. All the talk is on that Texas defense. And I think Ohio State's going to come out and try to prove a point. And I think they're going to win that football game on Saturday. I usually wait to give out my predictions, but I think that overall too, like Arch Manning's played 2 games in his college career. He's got to go on the road to open the season in Columbus, which will be starting on Thursday night. And I think at the same time, it's what are the expectations for the Texas defense? Sure, we think they're good. And I think at the same time, on the offensive side, when you got Wingo out there, and Arch Manning's going to have his guy to pass to, but it's going to go 2 ways, man. Like if Arch has a game, where he's throwing for 320 yards and 3 touchdowns, and they come up a little bit short, okay, the conversation's a little different. Comes out and throws for 240 yards, 2 interceptions, maybe 2 touchdowns. It's like, maybe we should have pumped the brakes a little bit. Like the outlandish takes that will come from this game are going to be all over the place, no matter what the final result is. And the best thing about this is for both teams, it's the opening game of the season, so they can still just fight their way through it. I look at this and I think, so much attention is being put on Texas and Arch Manning that Ohio State, in my opinion, is going to come out on defense and not shut down Texas, but do enough to win the football game. So, Ryan Day's loving this. Like Ryan Day, okay, talk about Texas. Please continue to talk about Arch and Texas and Steve Sarkisian and how they're going to be national champions and whatnot. But inside the meeting rooms, you say, hey, guys, we're still Ohio State. We just won the national championship. They're coming into our house. They're going to be playing here. Let's see what they can do on the field. So it's like you're trying to find that separation between, okay, what's real and what's not. And the good thing about it is we'll find out Saturday starting at noon Eastern time.
I mean, you've covered a lot of big games.
Yeah.
Where does this one kind of sit with you as you anticipate to kick off the regular season? There's a lot of football to be played, so that factors in. But I mean, just the anticipation and the to have number 1 versus number 2 to kick off the year, and not have it on a neutral field. I think that also factors in for me. Is where I would put this. Is like I'm amped about this, and I have no team to watch here. I'm just watching good football.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point now. I mean, it's Monday. We got to get to Saturday. It's time we get in Columbus. Everything will be kind of popping off. I think the excitement continues to build. I think it's been such a long off season that we're just waiting for those further games on the field. Sure, this past weekend was an appetizer, but it is like it. It is such a massive game, and I think that all the talk around the playoffs and whatnot and the 12 teams and how you can lose this game and you can still be in contention, I think that for some that might damper down the expectations a little bit, but at the same time, like this is 1 versus 3. This is the opening game of the season. This is what we're getting in Columbus. You're going to have big noon kickoff there. You're going to have the other network that's there. Everybody's going to be descending on Columbus to cover this one. And I think that the excitement level is only going to continue to build as we get to Saturday. But this is massive. And the fact that, and you mentioned it too, this is not a neutral site game. We're not playing this game in Atlanta or Orlando or in Dallas. No, we get home and home series out of this. And to me, that's what college football should be. I'm so tired of these neutral site games. I get why they play them, but the fact that we get this type of game on a home campus, I think ramps this thing up even more. I look forward to seeing how many Texas fans make the trip. Like, the environment's going to be spectacular. And I at the same time, again, all the talk about the two teams going into it will only ramp this thing up. And I think by Saturday, everybody's going to have those goosebumps. They're going to start to feel it. And it's the opening game of the day.
Hey, so if you weren't covering this game, which game would you want to be at?
Death Valley, South Carolina, Clemson versus LSU. Like, that's the one for me. Like, everything, the battle of the Death Valleys, right? LSU fans get pissed off whenever you say Death Valley when it comes to Clemson. It's like, move on with yourself. But at the same, that matchup, Cade Klubnik versus Garrett Nussmeier, Brian Kelly trying to win a game, a regular season opener, on the road, and whether that's at a neutral site or whether that we've seen what's happened in the past with LSU. And it's like, also at the same time, this feels like, I'm not saying it is yet, but it feels like a revival for Dabo Swinney. I don't mean that in other terms. I know how some might take that. I mean that as in the football program, what they did in the transfer portal, building this squad back up into a national championship type of squad. And to me, that kind of gives me goosebumps further. I mean, the spectacle before the game is going to be amazing. When you see those buses coming down the street next to Clemson Stadium and the cops are escorting and Dabo gets off the bus and he's walking and then they run down the hill, like, that is college football, man. And I'm so excited again that this is a home and home type of series and we're not playing this game at a neutral site. I think that would be the one to me. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. I know we get Notre Dame and Miami on Sunday night. In Miami. I know at the same time Alabama and Florida State will play in Tallahassee, but just from an overall excitement level in the atmosphere and pageantry of college football, Clemson LSU is going to be off the chain.
13.5 points is the spread, by the way, that Florida State game. Ty Simpson making his debut at quarterback for Bama. It's Bama's defense, dude, that makes that that to me is a you want to talk about an appetizer to the season to get things going the right way. Like, let's go. I'll lay 13.5.
It's also like, can Norvell try to come out with this squad and prove that last year was just some kind of fluke? Like there's a lot of storylines in this besides, and it's also too, it's like, how much longer can we go with Nick Saban's shadow hanging over Kalen DeBoer? Like, because Alabama has a squad this year that can win a national championship. But I got to see what Ty Simpson could do at quarterback first. I know what he has on the outside with Ryan Whip. I get that part. But the defense at Alabama is what is going to win this football game, in my opinion. And at the same time, don't forget, Thomas Castellanes has been running this Piper, the entire offseason. So I'm sure that bulletin board material is all up in the offices of Tuscaloosa.
Might as well be, right?
Yeah,
why not?
Why not? I mean, give them something else. You're going down to Tallahassee. Alabama fans are going to be all over that. Yeah. The environment's going to be fun. We get this home and home type of series. But then at the same time, it's, if Alabama goes in there and beats Florida State like a drum, you got to wonder what the hell's going on in Tallahassee. And is Mike Norvell actually the answer for what Florida State's trying to do? I get it's the first game of the year, but you got to remember, we're still rolling off what happened in 2024. So that's what makes this entertaining. I do think Florida State's going to hang around in the first half. I think they can hang around in the third quarter. But then, Alabama starts to break away, especially, if they put Castellanes on his rear end a couple times.
You eager to see Bryce Underwood like I am?
Yeah, I'm so intrigued by this. And I found it, man, it's so hilarious when they come out. Bryce Underwood has been named the starter at Michigan. No shit. You're paying him $4 million a year. Yeah, he's going to be your starting quarterback at Michigan. Like, what? This was not earth-shattering news. Sherrone Moore didn't even have to go tell the other quarterback, hey, by the way, you're not playing Bryce Underwood.
No. Like, he was told a few months ago.
Right. When he got his first check, he was told he was a starting quarterback at Michigan. So I am very interested to see what this squad's going to look like. I don't know how much we get out of week one, but week two, you're going to Oklahoma. And that to me is the interesting dynamic in this one. So yeah, I want to see if this 18-year-old kid can live up to, because what it reminds me of is what happened with like Nico. And I'm not trying to make a comparison between Bryce and Nico, but Nico set his first year and made a bunch of money. Bryce is going to have to go out there and prove it. And again, I urge folks to understand that this is a freshman kid who is 18 years old. I get he's the second coming, of Harbaugh, at Michigan, but let's pump the brakes a little bit and let's see what he has. And then he can go on the road to Norman, Oklahoma and really prove a point.
What do you think, speaking of moments, Joey Aguilar against Syracuse, Tennessee's new quarterback. What are you anticipating for him?
I'm anticipating Josh Heupel is going to try to garner him enough confidence in the opening first half where they are going to test Syracuse deep multiple times.
Yep.
And they're going to, even when they don't have to, even if the situation is, 3rd and 1 and they could run the football, and pick up the first down, I still think Heupel is going to test Syracuse's secondary, but really it's just because you're trying to get that confidence in Joey Aguilar to be your guy. And I know that they're going to rail to run the football, but it's how much does it offset what Joey Aguilar can do? And I think you're going to see a lot of 15, 20-yard runs out of this and scrambles. And, to me, the biggest thing with Joey Aguilar, Hut, is what can he do under the Heupel offense that wants to go like this? Has he learned it enough since he's been at Tennessee to be able to go like this? So they're going to go fast pace, but I'm curious to see how much they've dumbed it down. And I don't mean that in a negative way. That's just college football term. Right. Of the offense. So yeah, to get back to the overall question, they're going to open it up down the field to try to bring him as much confidence as possible. And by the way, that wide receiving core as well that has been kind of iffy, over the last year or so.
Yep. They both positions need a confidence boost and kick in the ass.
Yeah. And
provide that.
Yeah, and and it's also like you better be able to put up some points. Like, don't sleep on Fran Brown in Syracuse. I know what the point spread is. That's fine. It can be 14 points all day long, but Tennessee comes out, looks stagnant on offense. Syracuse can hit you one or two times. I'm just saying, don't expect some kind of blowout in Atlanta. I think Syracuse hangs around, but at the same time, this is all about building Joey Aguilar's confidence because we know what's coming in 3 weeks when the Bulldogs head to Knoxville for a massive showdown.
Hey, your reaction to the 9-game schedule and what it means for the conference moving forward and for the Big Ten, who can't complain about the 9 games being a detriment to their schedule compared to what the SEC's playing now.
Yeah, we were always going to get here, Hut. This is the discussion that's been going on for 6-7 years behind the scenes. When they left spring meetings in Destin, this was, Sankey had told folks, hey, look, like, be prepared when we make the move to 9 games, and I call you guys in for a vote, and we do it.
Yeah.
And that's why it happened. That's why I think for folks that didn't realize why it happened so fast, is because these athletic directors and these presidents have been knowing this was coming for a while. It was all about pulling the trigger. And it's not a coincidence, by the way, that the college football playoff puts out their new strength of schedule metric one day, and then the SEC decides on 9 games the next day. This was always the plan. So I think it's really great for the conference. I think that at the same time, it's fantastic for the fans. Give them an extra SEC game, a conference game. You're paying so much money now for season tickets. Let's make it worth it. You're not out there playing the Sisters of the Poor one weekend and an FCS school the next weekend. Like, this adds something different to it. And I think the value of it goes up. But at the same time, Big Ten, okay, you can no longer complain anymore. Like, the SEC's done what you've asked them to do. Now, will the Big Ten concede and get this stupid ass idea of 24 to 28 teams in a playoff and finally get to the 16 and we can move forward in 2026 and beyond? Because if I'm being honest with you, I had heard about that 24 to 28 team discussion a few weeks ago. And I was kind of like, those guys need to be drug tested. But at the same time, it's almost like they're putting a little pressure on the SEC by floating out these stupid ideas. And now we see where the Southeastern Conference, Greg Sankey, are at. So, I think it's really good. I think it's a smart move. Now we wait to see when the ACC does it. But at the same time, yeah, for the college football playoff moving forward, you had to do this. And I'm glad that they finally sacked up and did it too, because the fans now will be the ones that benefit from this as well.
Trey Wallace, we can all benefit from reading his great work at OutKick.com. Trey, it's here. We made it through another offseason.
Dude, we've had look, this has been an every week thing with us. Like we have talked every week since the end of last season, and it's either been legal stuff, business stuff, White House stuff. I mean, you name it. Now we're here. Just play the game starting Thursday night. Give me USF and Boise State. Friday night, give me Auburn, Baylor, Georgia Tech, Colorado, and then we're going to wrap the whole weekend up with North Carolina versus TCU on a Monday night. So, my brother, we made it. I look forward to talking again later in the week from Columbus. It's going to be a great weekend and a great season.
Yeah, and we'll catch up later this week. Travel safe.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, there he is. Trey Wallace has got you covered on the top game of the college football weekend.